Chapter 40. Go Big Ed! Ed had been thinking about what he was going to be when he grew up and where he wanted to study. He wasn't 100% sure, but he thought he would make a good teacher. One thing he was sure of, after 4 years of living far away, he wanted to go to a school close to home. As it turned out, there was a college, a teacher's college, just on the other side of Charleston. It was within hitchhiking distance. It was affordable. It was for African Americans. Ed considered lying about his race to get in. In the end, though, he learned that West Virginia State College had recently integrated and now allowed white students to study there. The vast majority of the white students were day students, but Ed planned to live on campus. He was invited to spend a weekend at West Virginia State during the summer to get acquainted with the school. Ed was assigned a roommate for the orientation weekend. His roomie was named Roger. Now, Roger was an interesting specimen. He stood just under 5 feet tall, on tiptoes. He made up for his short stature with long blonde hair that cascaded down his back to a spot well below his belt. Might not have reached so far on a taller man. But Roger was a typical teenager, never having lived away from home. Ed, who had spent the last 4 years on his own, was a cosmopolitan man about town by comparison. In the evening, after a presentation from the ROTC group on campus, Ed returned to his room in the 8-story high-rise dorm and got ready for bed. No sign of Roger or his hair. At around 2:30 a.m., Ed heard a fumbling at the door. It opened, and someone shuffled in, knocking over a lamp in the process. Ed sat up in bed and reached for the light switch. He saw a pathetic sight. There, slumped over a desk, was a frazzled blonde hairball, holding his hands to his face and moaning, "My eye! Oh, my eye, man!" "What happened?" asked Ed. "Man, me and some dudes were smoking pot. I was getting pretty high. When I went to light another joint, I was so stoned, I missed the joint and stuck the match right in my eye, man." Ed snorted and turned over to go back to sleep. Kids these days. Ironically, Roger joined the ROTC in the fall and shaved every bit of his blonde hair off. Had he not been only 5 feet tall, Ed might never have recognized him. When it came time to report to classes in the fall, Ed was assigned to the 7th floor of the same high-rise dormitory. The hall was populated largely by members of the football team. And Ed. There were nearly 4,000 African American students living on campus. And Ed. Oh, there may have been 5 or 6 other white students, but who was counting? It was a very peaceful campus with hardly any racial tension. If a fight broke out between the races, it wouldn't have lasted more than a second. Ed made friends quickly and became a kind of mascot for the football players who lived on his floor. He was reassured when they told him, "Ed, if any of the brothers go messing with you, just let us know. We'll take care of 'em." That was good. What he wasn't sure about was what to do when those same football players started messing with him. One day, as he was walking back from the shower room, a towel tied around his waist, they grabbed him. Laughing mischievously, they dragged him to the elevator and held him until the door opened. They pushed Ed inside, hit the button for the lobby, and jerked his towel off. Then they headed down the hall to Ed's room, congratulating themselves on their prank. Well, Ed had to think fast. The lobby was always full of dozens of students, guys and girls. He spun around and hit the button for the next floor. When the door opened, he raced down the hall to the fire exit. He crashed through the metal doors, dashed up the stairs, and pulled the fire door open. Before his friends realized what happened, Ed had beaten them to his door, stepped inside, and locked it. As they banged on the door, all they could hear was satisfied laughter coming from inside.